There's a wonderful story that's in relation to today's topic about dogmatism that he told with great joy and great glee as he would say this story. So once upon a time there was a devout Hindu priest who was a little bit egocentric and had gathered about himself 200 illiterate followers. And he demanded from them obedience, and he would teach them. And one day his followers came up to him and said, Master, please show us the way that we can attain heaven, that we can attain this realization. He said, okay, my children, do exactly as I do, and you too can attain the heaven. So they all went into the temple, sat in a circle. He sat down in the middle of the circle on his cushion, and he said, okay, straighten your spines. And all the idiot devotees sat down and said, okay, straighten your spine. And he looked around, and he looked at them, and they looked around, and looking back, and he said, oh. And they went, oh. So then, he says, he started to pray, oh, benevolent sire. They said, oh, benevolent sire, oh, benevolent Lord, help us to be obedient to our teacher, to learn everything and be able to imitate him. And they all said, oh, benevolent one, help us to imitate our teacher and to do everything that he says. And so then they would sit to meditate, and he had to cough. And all the devotees, and he looked around and he's going, oh man, these idiots. And then he coughed and he sneezed, and they would cough and sneeze. And he got a little bit more angry because he couldn't quite understand why these people were so thick and why they couldn't understand what he's doing. So at one point he jumped up and he said, don't imitate me in everything. And they all jumped up and said, don't imitate me in everything. And then he said, this idiocy has to stop. And they said, this idiocy has to stop. And they said, oh, you guys, this is ridiculous. They said, oh, this is ridiculous. He started slapping them. And they came back and they started slapping him. And they all started slapping each other, one slapping the other. And all of a sudden, his skin grew very hot and he was burning up. And he said, oh, I'm on fire, I'm on fire. And he starts running out of the temple, and all the idiot devotees start running after him. I'm on fire, I'm on fire. Well, what did he see? He saw a well. And he said, okay, I'm going to have to cool myself off. So he jumps in the well. And you can imagine what happened. All the idiot devotees jumped in the well on top of him, and they all went to heaven together. So that was just, there's all these wonderful stories that Master was able to, he'd get you laughing and then come in with a truth that he would say.